that more into our business. How do you feel about that?
I think it works. Um, if you are building a business and you want to choose your clientele and you want to be able to choose who you serve and who you don't, I think your values being in your business is a huge thing. It number one, it gets rid of the people you don't want to work with and it invites the people you do. But also, I mean, I don't really do it because like I said, I don't discriminate, so I don't really care about people's values, and they're coming to me for help, so I help them. I will always express my opinion, but it's not that big of a deal to me. Like it's just not, it's not one of those things I'm like, you have to have core values for yourself and your business to align, because I know plenty of people who have done jobs that they hated and were extremely successful, and they did it so that they could retire, and they did it, and they were happy after. So I don't really think it's a big deal. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, and I was kind of looking at something maybe that you wish you had done earlier on that you didn't do in your life. You're still young, obviously, but what's something that maybe you wish that you'd done? Maybe some of those regrets that you see now that you should have done.
I wish I would have tried harder in high school. Like I didn't try at all. So any effort, if I went back in time, would be effort in like 1,000% improvement. But I didn't really. I kind of coasted through because I was able to pass my classes. I didn't really have to try too hard. But I also didn't take advantage of like dual enrollment or anything. And I think that would have helped me when I went to college if I would have went a little bit ahead. And I probably wouldn't have dropped out because I would have gotten into my core college classes quicker rather than BSing with the prerequisites and all that stuff. So I guess if I could do anything, I'd probably try harder. Yeah. Yeah.
As far as hurdles that you faced personally, what kind of hurdles did you face when you were starting your business, and how did you overcome those?
I actually started my business because of hurdle. My grandma got sick, and she needed someone to take care of her at the house full time. And I like quit my jobs, and I decided that was what I was gonna do. And so for the last 2.5 years, I was taking care of her while still managing a business and still having to scale that and still having to be able to afford stuff. And she had like bat crap crazy dementia. So I was basically, with a toddler. And it was rough, man. Like dementia's no joke, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like, we had a nurse. I was the nurse. And then when we finally put her on hospice, she calmed down a lot and I was able to focus more. But even then, it was still, there's meds, there's feedings, there's, suctioning them out, there's changing and showering and all those things that I did. And then, when she passed away in January, I had to literally, it took probably till about June when I finally started working again because I was so messed up from it. And I would stop creating content. I basically like shut myself off. Um, and went like just coasting on the money that I had already made, and just not doing anything work related because I would always show her my stuff. Like if I made a cartoon or something, it would entertain her. So I would always show it to her, and then I would read her some of the stuff I wrote for businesses, and as sort of like an editing check to make sure that like if a 2-year-old could follow it, anyone could, and then when I got back to work after her funeral, I couldn't do it because I wasn't able to show it to her.
Right.
And so, like I said, just about June is when I started really, because I lost a significant amount of customers. And that's no big deal. I expected them. That was the whole point of me not doing anything. I expected them to leave. And then around June, I was like, you know what? I can't be like this anymore. It's okay. I had to go to therapy. I'm still in therapy, but like just moving forward is a whole new world for me because I'm still creating. And like I said, it just feels useless sometimes. So that's like, yeah, man, it's rough sometimes.
Yeah, that's kind of a story that a lot of people don't think about, but it actually is very common that a lot of people are going through that same kind of situation, and it's a situation that a lot of people like I say they don't really think about those things, but they should think
Yeah.
about it, how are they preparing for it? That I certainly feel for you with what you were dealing with, and kudos to you for pulling through that and being able to get on the other side. And
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying. It's an everyday effort, I'll tell you that.
so when you got to that point where you decided you did need to get back into it, was that kind of obvious to you, or did you sort of stumble upon that?
When I needed to get back into working, it was obvious. Like, obviously, I need to work. If I was a man, I would have one of those really long Grizzly Adams beards, and like, you know what I mean? It was one of those kind of things. It was just gross. Like, and I as I started to go to therapy and I had to start showering again and like not being super depressed, I realized that I'm missing a key element of key element of my life that really kept me going through her sickness. And I just kind of threw it away after she died. Like, screw this, I'm done. And also, I had a credit card bill that was pretty high. So I was like, shit, I gotta work. You know what I mean? Like, all right, let's pay this one down. Yeah, so that's basically it was a realization that I was a mopey, depressed mess, and I couldn't be like that. I had a bill piling up that I had to pay off, and I was just, I was tired of being tired.
Well, so when you started your business and doing what you're doing now, how did you start that? Kind of talk me through what that process looked like.
Essentially what happened is like, I always say like everybody who starts working from home has the same process. So it's like you start with MLMs, um, and then you move on to something different like freelancing or transcription. And then you start Googling real hard to figure out something you like and how you can do that online. And I really enjoyed making videos. I really enjoy writing funny copy. I really enjoyed things like that. So I was just Googling and I found this thing called content creation. And that's where it kind of struck me. I had a social media marketing agency, but that's just so much work. It's so much work. And it's emotionally and physically exhausting, and I didn't have the time for it. But I did have time to freelance for different social media marketing agencies who provided content. So I did that. And then I finally was like, screw getting 10 cents a word. I'm just going to go directly to the people who need the content, and I'm not going to get cheated out of most of the money I'm supposed to be making. So that's kind of how it went.
Okay. So what compelled you to go in that direction for business?
I didn't have a choice. I had to work from home. Like I had to find a way to work from home, and I did.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. Some people, that actually is what sort of spurs their business is, out of necessity.
Yeah.
So, is there some kind of profession other than what you're currently doing that you would like to attempt?
Well, I worked in radio for a while before my grandma got sick. I worked in radio, and I really liked that. So, I launched a podcast before she passed away, and then after, like I said, I shut down. So I'm revamping that bad boy. That's coming up. And podcasting, while it's not necessarily a career, it's just like radio. It's just being behind a microphone and talking to somebody, and that's something I really, really enjoy doing. So that is definitely on the horizons, as they say.
Yeah, and it's certainly a lot of fun to be able to do that kind of thing and get the stories out and talk to people. And
Hmm.
so, what would you say is one of your greatest strengths?
I'm adapting. Like, I'm very, very I'm like a chameleon. I can talk to anyone about it. I'm a social chameleon, so I can talk to almost anyone in any age group, of any nationality, any gender, about just about anything. It's pretty weird because I have a lot of friends. A lot of my friends are like 50, 60 years old, and my mom is always like, "What is wrong with you?" And it's because we like the same TV, we like the same music. But I can still talk about Drake and all the other new rappers, and I can talk about black and white movies. I can talk about different cultures, and I can talk about different foods and different just different things geologically, economically, and culturally. It's a really cool.
So kind of on the flip side of that, then, what would you say your greatest weakness is then?
I have no problem. Like I'm a slob in all forms of the word. Like with my speech, usually the only reason I'm not cursing so much here is because I haven't heard you curse once, so I'm trying to match that. My room is a mess at all times, but I'm just a messy person. My brain's a giant jumbled mess. Yeah, so like the lack of structure and stability is definitely the weakness I have.
Well, they say that's the thing that most of the geniuses have in common. So,
Yeah. Well, then I'm freaking Einstein. Look out for a new theory coming from me, buddy.
so what's the place that you get your best ideas at? Some people, it's in nature or a certain spot in the house. Where do you go to get your best idea juices flowing?
My room.
The room.
Yeah, my room. When I'm in my room and it's like quiet, and I'm just thinking and talking out loud like a crazy person. I can talk myself into an idea, like an idea flow chart. You know what I mean? So I start with a sentence like, "What would be so cool for me to see on TV?" And then it would be like, "What if a monster was part alien and also part vampire?" And then I'll just work into a total rabbit hole, and then I begin writing, and then I realize that it's nothing but rambles of a lunatic, and then I form an idea from that. Like so it's usually in my room.
So if you were to describe your business from a very high level, we'll imagine that maybe one of our listeners here is somebody that wants to kind of follow in the footsteps that you're in, business-wise. How would you describe your business?
The content creation is just a never-ending cycle of making people happy. Like that's all it comes down to, making people happy. Taking their thinking aspect of it and letting them focus more on the business side of things. Because as you know, like social media, everything is content. Some people aren't sure how to create content. Some people don't want to. So if you want to follow my footsteps, you have to find the laziest person in the entire planet with the most money and do their content. It is the ticket that way. And it sounds crazy, but realistically, when you have somebody with a great business model who is good at business but has no idea how to, do content, how to structure it, the different types, that's where the ticket is. That's the high ticket in content creation.
Okay. Now, for our final question here, if you can tell me something, kind of a trivia question about you, what's something that most people don't know?
I use a different toothbrush every week.
Oh, that's interesting.
It used to be every day, but I slowed down on the day from the week thing. I used to have like big boxes of toothbrushes, but now it's just once a week. I change my toothbrush because I don't think it makes sense that a toothbrush would be clean every time you use it. It doesn't sound sciencey to me. I would wager that the toothbrush is probably one of the most dirty objects in your house.
Yeah. Have an interesting point there. Well, actually, I appreciate you being on the program today, and we certainly enjoyed the time that we got to sit down and spend time with you, get to know you, and put some thoughts out there. And again, certainly want to see how your content creation business is growing in the future, and see you around the bend. And again, thanks for coming on the program.
All right, man. Thank you so much for having me. You have yourself a great day.
All right, you too.
Bye.